Terrible gamers, this is Wander No More, a pretty awesome story-based game that I'm dying to try. Seems like I've grown to love visual novels. So, I don't know much about the game. I just know that it looked awesome, the title looked awesome, the artwork looked amazing. It has this almost watercolor look to it. So let's jump into this. Wander No More takes place on an alternate Earth. Yeah, I got you. When I was a boy, joining the Kouichirou was my dream. Every day I heard tales of their exploits, whether they were protecting our land, driving away enemy forces, or taking the fight directly to them. They were hailed as an elite military force, devoted to protecting and expanding my kingdom's reach and always serving the people righteously. Thanks to them, we could live without fear of being conquered. In fact, our territory actually expanded as time went on, all thanks to their tireless efforts and unyielding bravery. The Kouichirou were truly our saviors, the most forthright, noble souls in the country, if not the world. Believing that from the bottom of my heart, I trained every day, single-mindedly working towards my goal of joining the Kouichirou. I grew up to be strong, fast, flexible, beyond the reach of any of my peers. As a result, before I even reached adulthood, I was already a top contender to join the Kouichirou, and the day I hit 18, I was welcomed with open arms. It was the happiest moment of my life. A decade of training had paid off, and my dream had been realized. Or so I thought. The village standing before me now, burned to a crisp and devoid of human life, was the work of the Kouichirou. It was not an enemy village. There were no combatants to be found here, nor did its inhabitants pose any threat. It was just an ordinary, everyday village, stuck between two opposing kingdoms. And for the Kouichirou, that was reason enough. After joining the Kouichirou, I quickly realized that our work was neither noble nor righteous. We were not saviors of the people. We were not almighty defenders, protecting innocent civilians from harm. We were a death squad. Every day we would venture forth, treading just a little bit further away from home, searching for the enemy. An honorable task, to be sure. We would drive away any threats before they could further encroach upon our land, taking the fight from innocent passerby. But as soon as I learned the Kouichirou's definition of an enemy differed vastly from my own. Any village not under kingdom's direct control or not paying us a protection fee would be decimated. Thousands of innocent people whose only crime was to not grow up under our jurisdiction were killed in cold blood, never even given a chance to surrender. We slaughtered men, women, and children, even newborn babies, all in the name of our Lord, the Emperor. I should have known they would follow me here. Nobody leaves the Kouichirou alive, no matter how high their rank or how long they served. Now, because I choose to flee here, those people are all. Che, the bastard isn't here either. Are we even going the right way? This is Captain Nabatame we're talking about. He knows how we operate. He's probably heading in the opposite direction. Damn, I hadn't thought about that. Let's keep moving. Wherever he's headed, Captain Nabatame's there. I watched in silence from a nearby forest as the last of the Kouichirou moved on. I had successfully evaded their surveillance and hidden myself by blending in with my surroundings, just as the Kouichirou themselves had taught me. So I waited, patiently biding my time, until the last unit left my sight, at which point I could finally relax once more. Those bloodhounds don't give up. It's understandable that they would want to silence me, given what I know, but to chase me this far away from the kingdom, even I won't be able to evade them forever. Though still alight, I returned to the village the Kouichirou had just passed through. I had been running for weeks, and I desperately needed food and water, much more than I could find while fleeing through desolate wastelands and forests. If I hurry, maybe I can find some supplies before they are all burned to ash. I don't care what it is. At this point, plain rice and water would be enough. With that simple goal in mind, I wandered around through the village, quickly checking each building for scraps of food. I put out fires where I could, using sheets and other miscellaneous pieces of clothing to deny oxygen to the flames. But as far as food was concerned, I found nothing. Only bloody corpses and scorched rations remained, leaving me without a single morsel to eat. Come on! There has to be something edible around here that hasn't been torched. How poor does a village have to be not to have? As I frantically searched for food, I heard a faint whimper from within one of the houses. I immediately abandoned my search and headed towards the next house over, quickly putting out the flames as I listened for the voice I had heard moments ago. But even without another sound to go on, there was only one other room in the house, and the moment I opened the door I saw a girl. Mama. Papa. Within a burning village, one in which no survivors should have remained, was a young girl. A single girl, crying alone in a house's storeroom, surrounded by rations I would have killed for a mere minute ago. As my gaze rested upon the girl, however, food was the last thing on my mind. All I could see was a young girl, orphaned by an unwarranted, unprovoked attack for which I was responsible. Amazing. This little girl actually managed to hide herself from the Kouichirou. I'm the only one they're after, of course, and they've been pursuing me for weeks now, so it's not unthinkable that a few innocents might escape their grasp. Even so... Huh? I opened the storeroom's door wider, revealing my presence to the girl sobbing within. She gazed at me in shock, not expecting to be discovered, and no doubt wondering whether I was a friend or a foe. And once her eyes made their way to the katana at my hip, she had her answer. Mama, Papa, help me. Once again crying out for her parents, the young girl moved back, trying to put as much distance between us as she could. She pushed back with her legs, scraping her tattered yukata on the floor, while tightly holding something in her hand. That's not a hand, bro. Even as she almost tipped over, the girl didn't use her hands. She instead grasped tightly at her wrist, refusing to let go. That was when I realized that this girl had lost more than her family. This poor girl. She can't be older than 14 years old. Yet she's already lost not only her family, but also a limb. Even if she survives, life isn't going to be easy for her. Everyone she once knew is now dead, and her village will need repairs impossible for a girl with one hand. Would it be kinder of me to end her misery? I put my hand on the hilt of my katana, which dangled wearily from my hip. As I did so, The girl before me let out an inaudible whimper and froze on the spot. Little girl, what's your name? The girl opened her mouth to speak, but hesitated to actually respond. Her vocal cords, like the rest of her body, froze in my presence, wary that the blade at my hip was not just for a show. Chiyo ayase. Though barely audible, the girl before me answered, her voice wavering as she did. Tell me, Chiyo, do you want to live? Chiyo continued to stare at me with fear in her eyes, likely interpreting my question as a threat. I don't. I see. I drew my katana from its sheath and pointed its tip towards the girl's throat. I thought my days of killing defenseless children were over, but just this once. I slowly pulled my katana to the side, preparing to cut down the girl before me with a single strike. With a simple flick of the wrist, I would behead her, granting instant death to a girl who deserved no further pain. If that is your wish, Chiyo, then I don't want to die. A second before I could swing my blade, Chiyo shouted out, finally completing her answer. Immobilized by fear, her words reached my ears in fragments, giving the illusion that the girl wished for death. But with strong conviction and an unmistakable will to live, Chiyo's true desire reached my ears at last, and the blade in my hand lost all of its power. What an impressive girl. Even with her entire life going up in flames, she still hasn't lost her will to live. Regardless, she's still just a young girl, and a child with one hand cannot hope to survive out there on her own. If she's going to have any shot at survival, then alright, Chiyo, I understand. If you truly wish to live, then as the one responsible for all of this, it is my duty to make sure that happens. I sheathed my blade and reached out my hand towards the shivering girl. My name is Kouichirou Nabatame. I am a traitor on the run for my kingdom. And from this day onward, Chiyo, you are my daughter. Wow, that's powerful stuff, man. On that note, however, Terrible Gamers, this has been Wander No More. It's a pretty powerful story, I gotta say. But you're gonna have to find out what happens next time on Wander No More. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell your neighbor, tell your friends. Terrible Gamers, peace!